Hello and welcome to Saved by the Bel-Air After Show. I'm your host, David J. Murphy. Of course, this is the official podcast associated with the After Show from the Bel-Air subreddit, reddit.com/r/Bel-Air. And today we'll be discussing episode 7 of season 2 of Bel-Air. Probably one of the high watermark episodes, best of the season. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's introduce our panelists for this week's episode. And I'm happy to say that we have all 4 of the main core members here on the show for a full episode this time. So going around the horn, we got Jossie. Hey, Jossie. How you doing?
So what's up? How y'all doing? Another week, another episode of Bel-Air.
Indeed. Rocking that Bel-Air backdrop, as always.
Always got to represent.
Right. Nolan, how you doing, buddy? All the way down there in Texas?
Yeah, I'm good on this end, man. South side of Houston. We out here. Just another week, another episode of Bel-Air. You know how it go.
Indeed. And then off camera right now, but getting his headphones on is Bala. Bala, can you hear us? Oh, there you are.
I can hear you just fine. My headphones weren't working. It was a bust. It's all good. Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up, Bel-Air family? How we living right now?
Right, that's right. Awesome, buddy. Okay, well, let's get right into the episode. So this was really focused, I'd say, mostly on Jeffrey's storyline, right? I mean, we obviously had, intermixing with Carlton and Will and the typical drama, and actually quite a lot of Hillary and Jazz this episode. I don't think we saw Ashley at all, so we're not really going to have to talk about her much. And I don't think Viv's storyline was fleshed out too much, but you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. So I'd say let's go ahead and start with probably the most significant storyline for this episode, which was Jeffrey's, right? So Jeffrey was introduced. We introduced his son character to the show in person now. And we saw that there's a lot of animosity there between Jeffrey and his son, not between, Jeffrey's side, but on his son's side. Of course, Jeffrey is trying to build those bridges. For some reason, this season, he really wants to reconnect with his estranged son. And, that we saw some kind of ups and downs with that, but it ended on a mostly high note, thanks to, of course, Phil and his intervening. What do we think about the Jeffrey and his son storyline?
I think it was a waste. I mean, not the storyline, I feel like could have been way better. Because as I stated last week on the episode, this was definitely a storyline I was looking to see. Because, I wanted to get a little bit more depth on Jeffrey, right? All we know is Jeffrey is like the butler, the help around the house, the hitman,
the house manager.
Right, the house manager. So, I thought this was going to bring a little bit more of depth to and a little bit more clarity to Jeffrey's background, even though we got bits and pieces here and there kind of scattered throughout the episode as their dialogue between him and his son, and then of course Uncle Phil at the end carried on. Like it wasn't what I was expecting it to be, the way that it kind of built the entire season for the most part, or at least the last few episodes once Jeffrey was back in the house. Didn't quite get to that point that I thought that they were trying to build this up to be, in my honest opinion. Okay. And as always, Uncle Phil is the peacemaker. So like
he can do no wrong.
Like, right. It's just like, well, here we go again. So, we're using the same old things. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing for me. Something I was actually really looking forward to.
Okay, so didn't live up to hype for you. What about you guys? Jossie, Paula, what do you think?
Man, so I see what you're saying, Nolan. I would say it was pretty by the numbers. Like nothing happened that you wouldn't expect as far as a estranged son comes in. He gets just a little, animosity that his dad was in his life. He sees the pictures of Jeffrey with his other family, and then like a normal adopted child would see the dad with the new family, and they start to feel a type of way. Then he leaves, and then everyone makes up at the end. So I would think it was very by the numbers. But I would say I still enjoy like seeing it played out a little bit, just because I like when Jeffrey gets more screen time and more development for his character. So I'm glad that they did focus on him this episode a little more. But I would say it was interesting that his son popped up immediately. I remember last episode we were kind of debating like, are they gonna bring in, when this actor gonna come in? This is gonna probably be a season finale thing where he shows up, but like very next episode or so, he's on a plane and he's there, and I was like, whoa, that
Instant
kind of jumped kind of
transmission.
fast. Yeah, yeah. I was like, that kind of came out of nowhere. And I mean, shout out Jovan Wade though. Still think he's a great actor. Shout out Cyborg, shout out Doom Patrol. But yeah, I think it was by the numbers. Nothing happened I didn't expect. Like I said, it was still kind of cool to see the storyline play out. But I wish it was a little more unique or a little more different.
Yeah, like every storyline in this series, if you aren't feeling whiplash by how quickly it goes by, then you're not
Yeah,
you're not enjoying the film or the show.
it's not Bel-Air.
And indeed, and right, that's the Bel-Air way. This is the way. It's interesting you mentioned that because it did feel very sitcom-ish, right? In so much as it was all kind of you had the conflict and the resolution all in a nice little package in one episode.
Yeah.
So I think they were just trying to get through that storyline because they have other storylines they need to get to. So it's like, all right, let's do the Jeffrey storyline.
Yeah, it's like checkbox.
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Bala?
Yeah, honestly, to be complete, I almost forgot that this was a Jeffrey episode. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, it took this conversation to remember, oh, this was about Jeffrey. And that's what kind of lost me, because, like Nolan was saying, we've been hyping up Jeffrey since season 1, episode 1, as this, like, man of mystery, the black Jamaican British dude, like Badman, who just be, like, doing all this stuff, but we don't know anything about us. And the episode we finally get to, like, learn about this character. It's like, you say it's a whole meal, but it feels like crumbs. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does take away the whole air of mystery that around Jeffrey's whole like sneaking around. Like now it's just he's the house manager and he's gonna manage the house, right?
No I mean, now that you guys think about it, I mean, like I said, a lot of stuff when I watch stuff I enjoy, but like thinking back of it, I do agree that it was kind of quickly kind of wrapped up. This has been hyped since season 1, like him helping Will, with finding his father because he had things going on with his son. This season's kind of looking for, they showed him kind of still in his mind. So to kind of get it all wrapped up in one episode is a little interesting. I'll be curious to see if they bring Jovan Wade back for maybe some more episodes. I think it could have been cool if it was kind of stretched out a little more, like that his son comes, maybe show him interact with Will Carlton. Maybe I think we kind of missed opportunity. We didn't get a real scene with, his son and Carlton maybe where some emotion can be tried. It's like, you had my father. My father was there for you. Where was he there for me? It could have been a really nice emotional beat that I think could have stuck with a lot of viewers that actually didn't get hit. But who's to say it won't get hit? Maybe the actor will stick around a couple more episodes. But
yeah. Well, we were talking last week about him living in the house, right? Like he was going to be a new permanent cast member. It's like, not so much. Well, we'll see.
It looks like he's hopping back on a plane, but I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a little bit of missed opportunity in my mind.
Not to mention, like, looking at and I don't want to be that guy who be like comparing the original to like the new thing, but at least with the original, you got the drama of him like basically manipulating Jeffrey, feeling like, oh, I'm the dutiful son, and on the low, he was just scheming and scamming off of Jeffrey, just stealing everyone's stuff because he felt like, damn, Jeffrey wasn't there, so let me get my lick in real quick. Well, this is just like, oh, daddy issues, and then I'm gone. Like, especially with a talent like Jovan Wade, if you haven't seen Doom Patrol, he lets his acting chops loose in that show, like episode to episode. So I feel like this was kind of a I wouldn't say complete misuse, but it's just like it doesn't get to showcase Jeffrey and his son's kind of like full potential, especially if it's a whole and strange father. Like, you could have done something new with it, especially coming off of season 1 where we saw that with Will and his dad. Because there's something really like interesting with that.
Yeah. Well, I think the positive note that they ended on between their relationship does leave the door open for potential return of the character in future seasons or future episodes. I'd say probably won't see him again this season, but I could definitely see him coming back in a future season.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, like I said, I need that scene. I need that scene with a little more emotion with him in the Banks family. I feel like they could do a lot more.
If nothing else, they can always recast him as Reed because we haven't seen him all season.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought it was the pain on Nolan's face. I felt that in my soul.
They can't afford it. I'm telling you, man. But you know what's funny? You would think that this show was his last season based on how quickly this storyline was wrapped up. They still got renewed for 3, so why not? stretch this out a little more.
I'm saying.
They got a lot of story to tell, I guess.
They must got that, but still, we keep using that, keep giving the benefit of the doubt. There's just so much story. You just got to rush through it.
I was going to joke like, yo, they didn't have enough in the light skin fund, so they were just like, yo, we only have one in, one out.
Well, now that Jeffrey's not worried about his son, he can focus on doing hits for Phil, like Doc. He's probably gonna, put a fit on Doc now because of all that stuff that's happened. We're gonna have ourselves. We'll talk about future stuff in a minute, but let's talk about the Will and Carlton storyline, and also kind of interspliced with Phil and Viv. Really, the Founders Award storyline, right? That was the big focus there. So we saw Phil trying to help out Will, because Will just isn't as prepared as Carlton is for this, because it's just thrown on his lap. He doesn't know the significance of it, or it's not as significant to him as it is to others. So we're seeing him floundering and trying to present himself as sort of the Founders Award material, while also trying to balance his sort of practices with Doc and the basketball team. Although we're seeing some positives with regard to his relationship with the basketball players, right? They're tending to bond a little bit more. But again, we saw Carlton and Will sort of at odds a little bit. Carlton just basically frustrated that Will isn't taking this as seriously as he is. And then it kind of all comes to a head when we see the video get released that shows Connor doing his thing, being a piece of shit, and basically Carlton not, putting him down like he should. And then, of course, Will coming in to save the day, so to speak. And we see that video from I think it was the first episode, right?
Yep.
And so that gets released, and it kind of puts a kibosh on Connor. And I think it's a little bit up in the air on Carlton, because he wasn't the one doing the singing, but he obviously didn't, he's got a bad rap now. He's pretty much taken out of the running, and it's sort of, or we're not sure yet. I mean, he's not completely out, but there's some question marks there, and it sort of elevated Will a little bit. But what are your thoughts on the whole Founders Day story going on right now and everything? All the story that happened.
Not to go back, before we totally jump there, I have one more Jeffrey question.
Sure.
Help with. So that speech that Phil gave at the end about how Jeffrey was kind of always there.
Yeah,
I was kind of confused on how that was the case, because I thought it was a closed adoption. He didn't know where his son was, or even like how his son looked. But because it seemed like when they gave him that photo, he saw his son, and kind of brought tears to his eyes, like a couple episodes ago. So I was kind of confused on how he was like kind of sending money or helping out when his mom got sick or lost a job at X, Y, and Z. I was like, I thought he didn't know where his son was or what was up with the family. But
I imagine he could probably work through Phil or somebody as an intermediary to get money to him. I would imagine.
Okay.
Hey,
so
Phil.
Maybe Phil was telling him the situations, or
I feel like that's the only explanation, like the only real explanation, because otherwise it felt like a whole retcon of everything they said.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's the only thing I can think of, is he worked through Phil to get keep him up to date and communicate things. I imagine.
I'm probably
not seemed like that makes sense. It just I was getting the vibe that he didn't know anything about his son. Like he was just didn't know where he was, nothing about him. And then this episode seems like he's always kind of been there. So it was just a little confusing. But I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Because
I guess I'd have to watch the episode again, but obviously I'll never do that.
I'm not gonna lie. Last few episodes, it was just like, oh, he doesn't know anything about his son. He's trying to like hunt for his son. But this episode made it seem like, okay, he kind of knew his son's existence, even though
he's been watching over him.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be funny if Phil just lied to him and said, "Oh,
that's what I was like." me and my girlfriend were like, "Did he just lie? Like, I mean, Phil does have a history of lying, so he just made all that up."
Yeah, just paying Jeffrey to be an angel.
I was gonna say it would make for a more interesting episode or season if they do like, damn, you lied on my father's name. Just to make him seem like a good guy.
Pulling an Avatar aim there.
Oh man.
Yeah, but to the Founders Award. Definitely crazy. I will say random trope, but I hate the trope when a message gets sent to everyone's phone and everyone just looks at it at the same time. I'm like, I just it's so generic TV. I'm like, what app is that where you can push a button and everyone in the school gets the same message and they don't know where it came from? I'm like,
they said AirDrop.
You know how long it would take to push everyone's name on AirDrop?
No. I don't know. I don't use AirDrop, so I don't know how it functions.
It takes a while.
I'm not at the same time. It could be like group chat, like I could group chat with you all, something and you get it all at the same time.
Yeah, that's all. But if the whole school was in one group chat, if somehow that was the case, and then he made a fake number, because obviously you would know which number it came from and then sent the video, I could see it. And it had to be iPhones. That means the person had to buy another iPhone because it had to be.
Make sure the whole school has iPhones.
Yeah, exactly.
iPhones are used by 75% of Americans, so not wholly on. Android users are like, "What's going on? Is Connor okay?" I'm an Android user. I don't know what's going on.
Now, and not to mention, now that I think about it, you gotta like really, that had to be a throwback video, because that was months ago in the terminal of Bel-Air.
And I was like, "Who's recording?" I was like, "Who was recording that moment?" It was just a clip from the show.
But it was literally the film clip from the show. It was
That's
funny.
a great camera. These high school.
Like, yo, that HD quality.
Somebody had a red in there.
Yeah,
somebody an Arri Alexa inside the
just
gym.
Standing there. Yeah, why would there cameras in the locker room anyway? Wouldn't someone be like, "Why are you recording?" You know.
Well, my thinking is that they, somebody was recording Connor singing just because whatever,
okay.
And then Will came in to shut it down, and that's what happened. Okay. It was already being recorded, and
but cameras in a locker room is nuts. Cameras in the locker room.
I was gonna say. I was going to also mention, because he said that other black guy, the black guy who's like trying to get with Lisa, who like was the one sent it. How did the black guy get the video? Because there was only 2 black people that I don't remember 3. I don't remember 4. I remember 2 black people in a room full of white. Like, no disrespect, Dave, in that locker room on some like slight OnlyFans type shit. So I was just like, that brought so many questions. And
somebody could have shared it with him. I mean, that's my guess, is that it was being shared internally by a couple of friends, and he got access to it somehow.
Yeah. I mean, not too big. I just like when I get into writing, I'm definitely trying to avoid tropes like so obvious so everyone gets the same message at once. Like now, but yeah, Nolan, if someone was in a locker room, I know you play football, but if they was in a locker room and someone had a camera, bro, wouldn't that be a little odd?
I mean, first off, when I was playing football, we had like cameras on the phone.
Yeah.
So that ain't real. I can't even tell you what they doing right now. But I know back then, like, nah, we ain't had that. We ain't had that on there. So, I mean,
when I was in the locker room, we didn't have cell phones. So.
I was about to hit my brother up like, yo, so is this what
I mean, I was on the phone. Now, don't get it twisted. I was on the phone. We definitely was on the phone, but wasn't nobody with the flip phone, camera, with the BlackBerry, with the camera. Now, we wasn't on that type of time then, so okay, I don't know what that is. But I mean, getting back to the Founders Award, like the only thing that I really have a problem with is as far as the controversy around it with Carlton and Will are concerned anyway, is everybody's like, it's quick to point out Will doesn't know the significance of the Founders Award. They act like Will put his name in the hat, like on Harry Potter, when Goblet of Fire, when they spit out Harry's name, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't put his name in there, he got nominated. So for him, it's like, all right, well, I mean, clearly this organization thinks enough of me in a short period of time to nominate me or whatever, but it's like you haven't been here long enough. Hell no, I ain't been here long enough. Like, but clearly these people think I had made much of an impact on this small, school community to be nominated for it. Like, let me do my thing. Like, like I feel like if you have it, I mean, if you've been nominated, like you're there for a reason. So it's like everybody's trying to tell Will how to, or scold Will for not being this model Founders nominee or whatever. And I mean, that's not him. Like, hell, he's barely acclimated to Bel-Air, to be honest. Like, and even then, he still got his own twist to how he rocks around the school or whatever. So, yeah, it's just so weird that that's constantly being brought up or thrown in his face. Like, that's supposed to be a deterrent for him. Like, I got nominated the same way these people got nominated. They might have wanted it. I didn't, but shit, I'm here now. I'm gonna keep pushing. Like, that's how I feel like he should be doing it. And I really, it's funny. I said last week, I was like, I'm wondering how Viv and Phil are going to handle them in the house together, both vying for this
Yeah.
award. And they
Mhm.
start off with that corny breakfast being made, and we made pancakes for y'all. It's like, what? And then they had a little back and forth, the little jesting, jousting with each other, playfully or whatever about who's going to get the award and everything, for all that to go out the window on Carlton being like, we'll release the video of me to everybody in the school. Like, did you see Will on his phone just then? Like, while he's trying to answer the questions and stuff? Like, how does, like, again, it's certain things, like, I really want some of these plots really, I feel like they can be home runs for this season, because this season has lacked so much substance, in my opinion. And
Mhm.
it's just like they're falling short, but they're just trying to take like cheap ways out to like create controversy that
Like
shouldn't be.
drama. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like I said, like, man, like, man, I don't know, maybe I'm just being overcritical, but that was really the only problem that I saw. Um, with that whole Founders Award thing, and then obviously Carlton at the end. I didn't even, maybe I had stopped paying attention to the episode by that time, because like this was a hard episode to get through for me. But Carlton at the end going on live. It seems everybody's on live talking to people on live, because Viv was doing that at some point in time in this episode too. I remember I looked up and saw her getting hearts on the screen. I'm like, who is Viv talking to? Like, I completely missed the boat on that one. But Carlton's now on live talking about things, and then we clearly know what happened at the end. I'm pretty sure we'll cover that later on. But yeah, it's just, man, it's just, I just feel like,
Yeah.
man, I just wish season one's writing was still here for season two, because it's lacking some stuff here, man. They're not able to bridge gaps, and it's like they're just putting a little rope bridge across, just trying to do something temporary just to get through the scene, get to the next scene, get to the next episode, man. It's been hard to get through.
Yeah, that drama for drama's sake, I do agree, does bug me, especially when Carlton accused Will of leaking the video. I was like, come on now, like that was just like, Will enough to know he wouldn't do that. So it's just a waste of our time to even have that as a plot thread where he thinks he's the one that leaked it. So,
Like, I would honestly, it would have been more convincing for Carlton to be like, "Oh, this was my chances," than to like out and about blame like Will for it. You feel me?
yeah.
Like that would make more sense, cause
Like no, like come on now. Like I mean, why would even waste time? Yeah, waste time accusing Will of leaking like a video of him saying N-word.
like, hey, that like family, like that's the thing. Will's the type of person who's like, if it's keeping the family, check people in the family, but don't check about a public type of person. Like he's not gonna be okay. I'm going to just fuck up your whole reputation in life just to like make me look better. That's never been Will Steve. So for
Yeah.
Carlton to think that it's not, it's unconvincing of Carlton. Like even with his insecurities and anxiety, that just doesn't make sense for his character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I what do you think about Jeffrey, or not Jeffrey, Carlton's slide back into drug use? at the end
Oh,
of the
saw
episode?
that coming.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
knew that was
disappointed.
coming from the first episode. Like that's no shock. But for me, like, I felt like there were other times in this season where he was a little bit more stressed out,
Mm-hmm.
that he could have fell back on that.
Yeah.
Then, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he's only had access to it with the last 2 or 3 episodes when Connor gave it to him. So I
Mhm.
mean, he's missed a couple of those minor breakdowns early in the season that he was having. But I just felt like this, maybe the day of, if he went home, was like, oh my God, like, like that video got leaked, and he went back to it, but it was like, it felt like a couple of days had passed and he was
Hmm.
processing it. And then it's like, while
Mhm.
he's got a cool and calm mind, oh, now I want to go hit the book of sugar. Like,
Mhm.
what?
Well, I think in this point he feels like he's lost the Founders thing, and he doesn't really have a chance. So it's like, who cares now, right?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
I guess it
I
was.
can
I
see
guess
that.
it was
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I mean, he did. It was interesting because he did kind of. It seemed like he. I don't know if he came to peace with it, but he said his piece, on Instagram Live, and said like, we all make mistakes. Um, I'm allowed to grow, whatever. It seemed like he was at peace with it, but then like, don't say he started doing, went straight to the
No, that just
drugs.
made me
But
think about
that's what threw
something.
me
Like,
off.
everybody was in school watching him on live, but he was at home. What was that? That just hit me
Like, did he
because
skip school just to make a live showing him skipping school?
what's going on? That just hit me like, wait a minute, he was at home, like.
And everybody watching his live at once is hilarious. Like that's definitely how real life works. Like everyone's
Yes,
gonna watch your live in the
that
school.
wasn't a TV plot. No, I think that's what kind of blew me. It felt like a whole 180. Like Carlton making this whole speech, like this whole inspirational speech about how people could change. We saw the little montage of all the characters having their moments of like pride and just like learning their season lesson. Over and go riding like white slopes again. It was just like, damn, word. Like we all knew. I mean, seeing from the first season, like what the season was going to tell, I kind of knew that he was going to go back on the drugs real quick. But it was just like it kind of felt jarring after this whole big speech on IG Live that everyone saw. Everyone was on IG Live at the same time. So Carlton give this inspirational speech just for him to just go back to like the coke. It just kind of threw me off.
And I do see Dave's point that maybe like he gave the speech where he still was like it's kind of it was like a lack of caring at that point, not necessarily stressed out drugs. It was just like who care at this point? Like I said my piece, let me just go do something that's gonna make me happy. I think that's kind of what made his mindset was that. I do think Dave's theory makes him true that like that speech may have done something, and people realize that maybe he is a contender. But people may find out he, was on drugs and then he loses the award. I think that theory may still come true because they put that speech in there for a reason. I don't think he's going to be taking out the Founders Award. I don't think that plot thread is zipped up yet. So, it may happen. I'm still confused on how the voting or how the recipient is chosen because it seems like the student body was the one asking questions like when they asked Will, like, can you contextualize this through the Founders principles and the students seeing it, so he thinks he's taken out. So and maybe I guess the students are who votes. I don't know, but yeah, I'm still kind of unclear.
It seems like there's a board or a panel that they have to appeal to or basically present to in order to get selected. I don't know.
That would make the most sense, but like how they showed it doesn't really make it 100%.
Yeah, it's not clear. I don't know why they don't just tell us who chooses it.
Yeah, like what was this open house sort of thing for? Just the students to get to meet the founder awards? Like I sit in class with you every day. Like I don't need to get a presentation.
Like, yo, show me how
good job. You're doing this founder thing.
Like show me how much better you are as a student than me. Like make me feel like shit before I have to go to class.
One thing I can think of is maybe the underclassmen are learning about the Founders Award from the Founders nominees. I don't know. Maybe it's freshmen. They're seniors. I think they're seniors.
When Will showed up with no founders, with no info, and then they like put the dramatic music and gave us a little speech, I was like, oh, here we go. He's doing something motivational on the fly, on the whim. I'm like, it's kind of getting old at this point. Like he's like, I'm just me. I'm here for. I'm like, all right.
How do you not learn who Will's listen, I'm from West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. Where I spent most of my day. Okay,
that was the time.
Out back in the school.
Got into a fight. A couple of guys in my neighborhood. Oh wait, I shouldn't have gone into that detail.
Hey yo, my uncle came in.
Listen, I trust you all. Okay, are you filming? Good. All right, listen. My uncle Phil broke the law to prevent me from going to jail. Okay, that's just how it is. I trust you all. And don't tell anybody about that. Oh, you just airdropped it to the entire school right now.
That'd be wild of Carl to be like, yo, he's a whole convict. Like that would be a plot twist.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that whole beast. Obviously, that was the other, major storyline with Will, or story development, really, not really a line, but again, we saw some conflict between him and Phil over the Founders Award thing and the perceived kind of impression of Will, which is like Will everybody's making some very large accusations and jump to conclusions here for drama's sake. Like, oh, you didn't even want me to be in the Founders Award. I mean, he's got some basis there, but then Phil's like, I'm trying to help you here and you're not taking it seriously. So there's conflict there, and then he goes to Doc. Obviously, before Doc, he sees Jackie. Jackie's all drunk and despondent and whatnot towards him and stuff like that. which is like, what's going on there with Jackie? I mean, obviously she's drunk, but it's like, what was her method? Like, what was going on mentally with her right there? I wonder. And then of course, Will confides into Doc with, his whole backstory. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that piece of Will's story this week?
I'm sure that won't.
Hey, yo.
All I know is some writer was like, we got to get Will to Docs in a vulnerable moment. How do we do that? Let's put him at a party with his teammates where they're bonding. Oh, and let's have Jackie pop up like she normally does, unannounced. And let's also have her drunk. Drunk and starting controversy, and Will has to help her. And then apparently, however she got there, nobody knows how she's going to get away from there. So it's up to Will, who had nothing to do with her, to get her home.
Like, how'd she get there in the first place,
You're right?
They're her friends. Does she not have friends? They just let her
Apparently, son, she just like Ubered there to a party, drunk off a dudes, like trying to start fight with random girls, bro.
Like, yo, you can't write this any worse. It's just like, what is this? Like, and I'm like, because I actually, even though I didn't really, I thought it was kind of corny how they was all like, oh, you got the Lexus, oh, we ride with you and everything. I did like that they actually were kind of bonding finally. Like, they were finding out like, yo, I'm not from Bel-Air. I'm just staying with my people's house. I like that Will was able to kind of start explaining himself and like who he really is, not necessarily what got him to Bel-Air, but who Will is, not who they perceive him as because of his address currently. And then, like I said, out of nowhere, Jackie pops up and it's like, what? I wasn't even expecting that. And then she just drunk and she's like, you don't know me, Will. Like, clearly he doesn't. He only seen you like 2 episodes. Like, it's like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm just like, man, like what is this going on, man? Like, I just could not. And then she's passed out on the table. Like, the first thing I'm asking, like, who she came with? Like, that's the first thing I'm asking. Like, I'm not thinking like, oh, it's my responsibility. I'm trying to figure out, yo, how did she even get here, right? And then, yeah, it's like I said, somebody that wrote this part of the episode or wrote this entire episode, like, we have to get Will from point A to B or point A to Z. And how do we do that? Well, Jackie, let's write that Jackie lives with her uncle. And she pops up at the party. Like, it's just like that's had to be what they were thinking, because it just doesn't make any sense why she was inserted into that situation in the state that she was in, because we haven't seen her like that at all in all the times that she's been around Will. And then Will has to look out, well, he's written to look out for her, but that'd have been me. Would have been back at the crib.
Hey, yo.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that Jackie's appearance at the party and her overall drunk nature was a ruse to get her to get him to in front of Doc?
No one's that good of a actress.
Man, I would actually be more surprised if that was used to get him there than
what actually happened.
Exactly. I would be way more surprised. That would actually be like, no, that's actually good writing, because I didn't see that coming.
And then also maybe the friends were being nice, for a reason. Like, maybe because Doc got control of the team. Doc got control. So they were like, yo, invite Will out to this party. We're gonna get Jackie there. I'm gonna get Will. We're gonna finally get him some vulnerable, and he's gonna give me the info I need. Who knows?
Yeah, Doc knows he can't leave Jackie just drunk and vulnerable, right? That's his girlfriend.
Yeah, he knows Will's character at this point. So I mean, hey, if it is a setup, that definitely be interesting. If not, that's some bad writing. We're gonna see what happens. How do y'all feel about the conversation with Uncle Phil and Will though? Like, they really got into it, and he was like, "How dare you fix your mouth to say that I don't have your best interest, or I'm not there for you, and all I'm done to help you." I thought that was Uncle Phil bossed up a little bit. I think it was well earned, because it was kind of Will's kind of.
Hell yeah, you in my house getting all these things. I'm paying for you at the team you playing for now. I got you here. First off, you've been in a jail. Like, yo, like, yeah, I feel some type of way too. Like, how do you mean I don't have your best interest in mind? Like, you were in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were caught with the gun.
Like,
And like what are you talking about? Like, so yeah, I was totally with Uncle Phil on that, but yeah, man, it's I mean, I can't say it's that particularly as bad writing with Will making those accusations because Will is a hothead teenager. Like I remember
yeah.
when I was a teenager and I got pissed off, I'd say whatever the hell came to mind too. So I can't really say like that's trying to just create drama for drama's sake. Like Will is I think Will is one of those people, and as most kids think, like it's not what you've done, it's what you've done for me lately, right?
Yeah.
And he's coming off of like what he said earlier about Carlton. Like you didn't want me to pursue the Founders Award anyway. Like you wanted that to be Carlton's thing. So he's not thinking everything. He's thinking about maybe just the most recent transgression or the recent interaction with Uncle Phil. So I could see why he would be just blinded or still having that fresh on his mind versus what Uncle Phil was bringing up. Like I can't just look at one minor argument or one minor, not seeing eye to eye. I'm looking at it like you're here and I've kept you here and have constantly given you opportunities since you've been here and even conceded things that you want to do despite my best interest for you, and you gonna throw it? Hell yeah, man! I got the belt out, man.
Yeah, well, about to say,
Oh,
Will's
man.
getting a little disrespectful. Will's getting a little disrespectful. The way
Not
he
even a
stormed out,
little. High key
yeah,
disrespectful.
I'm gonna get in on my own and storm that. I wish I talked to about some of my family members that way. Come on, Will.
I mean, Phil was so pissed off that he wouldn't even let Viv defend Will. He was like,
Yeah,
no. I'm going to say my
yeah,
piece to Will because he is being completely disrespectful right now. And then Will's like, fine, I'll do it my own. I'll do it myself. Like I
yeah. I'm
always
like, what you about to do, boy? Like, come on.
What you about to do driving around their Lexus?
With the Lexus,
I know,
like,
right? The next scene.
No,
He's
you
like,
gonna
oh
live
yeah,
with
that
this is
that.
the
the
car.
very next scene,
I'm
they
borrowing.
praising his Lexus. I'm like,
Yeah.
West Philly did
I
not
get no
give you
help
that
from my
Lexus, my
family.
boy.
I was gonna
West
say
Philly
West
did not give you
Philly,
that Lexus.
bro. Like, come on now.
even how season 1 ended. Oh, my bad, Val. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's it called? He was getting a little too big for Brazil, but the moment he was around his players, he got a little Bel-Air for them. Like he was just like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm the realest Bel-Air." No,
Yeah,
man.
he said it's a foot rest in the bag. Yeah, it's a foot rest in the bag. Y'all, what y'all know about that? But I was saying, even season 1 when he stormed off at the end of season 1 with their Lexus, like he should have left on a bike or something. It would have been a little more impactful. Like he's
walked.
storming off with you saying I'm gonna get on my own.
No, I thought season 1 Jazz came and picked him up, or did
Yeah.
Jazz find him?
I just found him. He stormed off with the Lexus.
Okay.
And they were
I
like,
just remember
"Can you
that
track
how
it?"
it ended. They was looking out at the
Yeah.
city, downtown. Yeah.
They were
Jazz
talking
found
about
him
like
at
the
the
low
same
jack
spot.
detection and tracking wasn't activated or something because Jeffrey wasn't there.
They said,
Tracking.
Jeffrey usually handles it.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, he opened up the doc, and I'm sure Doc is gonna use this against, like, Phil now, like his master plan to blackmail Phil or whatever. But
Yeah.
he shouldn't have done that.
As soon as he
Definitely shouldn't have
said,
done that.
"I trust you," I was like, "No, Will, no! What are you doing?"
Big mistake.
Ugh.
Scheming.
I fear that this is going to impact Phil's new job opportunity, right? Because that was the big thing that also happened. He was Phil was welcomed to the new company, and like all the associates wanted him there, and he was going to get to. I think that's not going to happen now because of this, or that's going to be held over him because of Doc trying to bribe him or something. I don't know.
Best storyline I would say this week was Ashley's storyline. They did a lot with her character this week. Some great development. Oh wait, no, she wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm dead.
Sure, I think we only got one more major storyline to really talk about, and
most
it is
important
the
storyline.
most useless.
Jazz and Hill, or Jazz and
Wait, is it most
Hillary.
impactful or most useless? I'm not confused. Clarify for me.
Well, we knew it was going to happen, right? It was kind of foreshadowed last.
It impacts my emotions negatively the most. So I would say it may be the most impactful.
I mean, I feel bad for Jazz because, it's like I was hoping he would have that good relationship, but he also kind of sacrificed, he did to himself.
Sacrifice.
Yeah,
I think it was bad writing because it was just so anti-Jazz, like writing wise, that I was like, they should have got a better middle ground. Like at least we can see. Like I see Hillary's point, I see Jazz's point. I obviously bringing Lamar to the event. If I tell him, I mean Hillary's in the wrong. But as far as this episode goes, it was straight insecurity, straight little boy energy. I just don't. I wish it was written a little more neutral instead of just come on, Jazz, you effing up.
I mean, like I said, my biggest thing, and I talked about this before we started the show, was like again creating controversy for no reason. Like I've been out
Yeah.
with before. I've been in a store. I've been in a restaurant. My card didn't work. My people was like, "Nah, I got you, whatever." And right after that, they got me when we left. I either PayPal them or Cash App them,
Yeah.
or we went to the ATM and I spotted them. Like, appreciate you, man. Get me out that bond or whatever. So, like, that's like it's just for them to have, I guess, a good dinner, talking, getting back on the same page, and for all that to go away because your card got declined and your girl that clearly has the means to pay for it, like you want to put your foot down, like, nah, the money cleared, it's there. Like, all right, well, if it's there, then just get it to her after. Like for me, it was just like it,
Yeah, like just Zell her, bro. Like just be like, I'm gonna Zell you my card.
Like,
Yeah.
yo, acting like Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, like PayPal don't exist. Like,
I mean, I guess
it's,
he was saying. I guess to get in Jazz's mind, he was saying that that wasn't a point. The point was she didn't trust that he had money. I guess, but or trust that he had it handled because he said he checked and he wasn't there. And I know sometimes if you run your car and it's a higher amount than normal, it won't go through. They send you a text to say, "Hey,
yeah.
just confirming this is you."
man, I still remember the first time my card ever got declined. And like I had my BlackBerry and my card declined, and I went and pulled my bank account. I'm like, yo, I got money.
Yeah. No,
And like,
I did that.
so
I've done that before.
That's
I
how me.
totally understand the embarrassment, like the pressure you kind of feel in and stuff. Because I was in the supermarket line, and the person behind me was like, "Hey man, just I'll swipe for you, whatever." They got an
Yeah.
ATM like in the parking lot. Just I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool." Like and that got me out of a bind. So like, I get like when you put on the spot like that, sometimes it is hard to think clearly, especially if that might have technically been his first time. We don't know, in that universe that his card got declined several times before. But I mean, again, it was just kind of like she offered to pay. And in my mind, it's kind of like, well, I know I got the cash, so I'll just pay you back. Like that's how I think. But like you said, he's already thinking, or at least he's probably been thinking in that space that they've been having these last couple episodes. It's like she liked this dude because of they only stopped talking because he went away, one, and then two, he's like this big NFL star or soon to be. I think they say he's like first round draft pick. I don't think in the show he's been drafted yet or not. But yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, he got cash or whatever, like on tap, and really because he's the guy that was the big USC star or whatever, he probably got a face card anyway wherever he goes. So it's like he might not even got to pay because it's like, oh, such and such. Oh yeah, right this way, sir. Red carpet rolled out and all the finer things and stuff like that. So yeah, he might be. He's like Jassy said, he might be on edge about that. Just the means that this guy has at his disposal at this point.
Yeah, maybe under normal circumstances he wouldn't have reacted the way he did, but because of everything that's been going on in his mind, he feels inferior, and this just cemented and compounded.
Also, you should never just have one car, fellas. Don't rely on. We should have a credit. You miss out on these credit card points. How many points he would have got for that dinner? He was relying on one card. Come on now, bro. You can't. It's 2023. You can't be.
I was thinking like he's a business owner. Doesn't he own the record shop, or is he just working the record shop?
Yeah, he owns the shop. He should have.
How can he not have like a corporate card or a line of credit that's larger than a dinner cost?
That
just seems so odd to me.
Like that's business.
And he was quick. You didn't have no problem stuffing down that $100 lobster.
Yeah, nah, he was out of line.
That was out of pocket. I ain't gonna hold you. What would have been more interesting if she like actually took the money on the low to help with her like influencer house. That would have been an interesting storyline. Like her doing anything to get it like her influencer house up that she's taking from like what's it called, Jazz's like account. I don't
Yeah, at
know.
least you didn't go live and be like, "Yo, listen, I am with my boyfriend right now. He can't pay for dinner."
He broke as fuck.
I know, right?
Yeah, I
Would have
Jazz
killed
would
that
definitely.
man. Jazz would have been MIA till season 3.
Yo,
Yeah.
I've been like, yo, shut it down. Do that like what's it called? Like ghost move, like two. Never see me again.
Man, his insecurities was up this episode. He done fumbled freaking Coco Jones. Come on, I can't forget Jazz for that.
How can you fumble Coco Jones though? Like I'm not. That's not like computing in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fumble, bro. Insecurities got to him.
Which is
He
like
was like, I
the
don't care
most.
for that.
But you know who got the interception? Mr. Draft Pick #1. He just
Well, I think
took it.
he's in the NFL. He plays in the NFL. Because they said I remember at the
I thought they said
cookout
he
they
went
were
to Philly or whatever. That's why they didn't stay together or something like. No, not Philly. He went somewhere in the Northeast. I can't remember where. New York, maybe. New Jersey.
yes.
Something.
Yeah, I
It was
think
something.
was it Philly or somewhere?
I
Let me see if
saw
I
it
can
in New
find out.
York.
I thought they said he played in the NFL. That's why they were like, you got an NFL star on your team.
Well, yeah, they said that, but then they kept saying like Mr. First Round draft pick or whatever, like he's supposed to go first round or something like that. So I'm like, oh, he hasn't been drafted yet.
Okay, I'll check. Let me see if I can.
Hey yo, Google's your best friend, bro.
Yeah, it says pro NFL player on the Bel-Air or on the Bel-Air
Wiki.
fandom. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
good.
so just I think it's again Jazz being very petty with regard to everything. I mean, but they have to create the conflict. I think it's just would this be as like a big a deal? I think in real world, I don't know, but they have to paint up the conflict. I did like Will trying to play the matchmaker. I thought that was a cute scene.
Yeah, I like that. And it's
yeah.
different editing too. I haven't seen Bel-Air be real creative yet with the editing. But that was the first time I think I've seen like outside of the normal, drama cut shots. They actually did some creative stuff with the back and forth.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Okay.
again, I was hoping, for Jazz, right? Because it's like, oh wow, he's got like, he's kind of punching up, right, with regard to, his status there. But they got to create the drama. Don't worry, they'll be back together again in no time.
Now if LaMarcus comes in first.
That's right. Now the door's open for LaMarcus, but we'll talk about that in the future episode forecast. The only other major storyline, not major, but I mean, Viv, I guess she revealed she was the artist behind the anonymous painting, right? That happened this episode, I think.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what was going on with Aunt Viv. Like that's why I said I looked up and I saw her on live talking to people. I'm like, what happened? Like
She got introduced
and I
to
did not
social
rewind
media.
it back. I did not
No,
rewind.
she's
it.
I
Social
didn't even
media
remember.
famous now.
I didn't even remember that there was an anonymous painting in the show. When they put that on the previous lawn, I was like, that was a plot point. Maybe I just wasn't paying
forgot
attention.
that too. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I didn't even realize that was a whole plot point. Was that season 2 plot point? Was that because I saw that too?
That was at the art gallery apparently, like a couple episodes ago. But I mean, it's interesting that her big storyline is her using social media. Like that's like this is so interesting. Like she's on Instagram. We're supposed to be super captivated by that.
You gotta get your adult viewers somehow.
Wait, did y'all catch that? Is Aunt Viv 32 years old?
Oh, it was a joke. I thought it was a little weird, but they were they were joking about her age. Yeah.
All right, I'm about to say, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, I thought that I was like that. I thought for a second, then I did the math, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I kind of see how they was joking.
Got you. And of course, we have to talk about Ashley.
That's that storyline, man. Like they're going. What are they gonna do? Going crazy with her.
I can't believe she ran away and joined the circus. That was just
when they showed that she was working with Doc the whole time and she's been kind of fighting against Will, I was like, wow.
I couldn't believe she was the mastermind behind it. It was amazing.
She was so
innocent. She was working with Doc the whole time. Like she got what's her name? That liquor. Yes. That was all her.
Oh, and then when they showed that she's the reason Uncle Phil lost the client because she was sending text messages, I was like, yeah, this is crazy.
Not to mention,
really her who shared the video.
It was her who shared the video, who paid Cuz.
The mastermind.
Yo, she's an evil genius.
She's the one who got it to Drew. She was actually in the locker.
Griffin. She is the Stewie Griffin of the
Bel-Air. Don't trust them 12-year-olds. 12-year-olds be evil.
I believe she's the drug dealer that gave Connor the drugs that gave
Oh
the.
my God.
Yo, she's the
Oh,
reason Will went to
God,
jail because she wanted Will in Bel-Air in the first place. Now
wow.
we
could y'all
know.
imagine that they do a recap and they just do like Ashley and all the different spots. They go and show like Will getting like tackled by the cops and the gun down. And then you see Ashley like over in the fence, like, looking through the fence.
That'll be for the final, the last episode, the
Yeah.
Oh
series
my
finale.
God.
Ashley,
They're gonna make a whole song call it was Ashley all along.
it was Ashley all along.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, I think that's all the major storylines. Let's talk about predictions. All right. So obviously, Will telling Doc. Doc's going to use that for his nefarious something. So what do you think? Are they going to just blackmail Phil? What do you think he's going to do with that?
I mean, I'm
But
pretty sure.
okay. Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead, Nolan.
No, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he has connections since he recruits all over for his team. Like I'm pretty sure he has connections in Philly where he can possibly find out like, okay, what was this Will Smith kid doing with this park controversy with the guy getting with the basketball game and all that. I'm pretty sure he can dig up what he can. I'm pretty sure they had a news report about it too. I wouldn't be surprised if they had that. They might not have named names because they were minors, but I'm pretty sure like he'll be able to connect the dots some kind of way with that. And then with Uncle Phil and Will at odds, and Phil, threatening like, well, he seems to be okay with me putting my money in his bank account. And I think Phil is going to probably like try to like pull back on that. And then Doc's like, wait, no.
Price has just gone up, Phil.
Yeah,
Life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday's
double
better
that
than
amount.
today's.
For me, I think it is leaning towards blackmail, but it does not look like Doc is hurting for money. You know, he runs one of the most successful AAU teams, it seems like, on that coast. So I wonder what the blackmail is. Does he need his help getting out of
Because
situations?
look where Doc living at. He living in the house that Family Matters was filmed in.
Hey yo,
Yeah, he didn't have the biggest house.
Yeah.
You're right. He didn't have the biggest house. But it
I
would
feel
just
like
so
the,
generic
like,
if he just
blackmail
wants money though.
I feel like blackmail is more about control of Will, like, and control of Phil. It's not gonna be about money itself. It's just like, yo, I know what Will is, so give Will all to me. Pause. But just about like, okay, I know Will. You can do whatever I want now. Like just puppet master games.
Yeah, I'm curious. I hope it's not money because like that's just gonna be so generic. Like I'm extorting you for an X million. Like I hope it's something deeper, something maybe more personal, or something creative. I don't know, but I think it's gonna end up being blackmail. It will be super wild if that whole situation was set up for Will to reveal that information. So I guess we're gonna see. But hey, it's only 3
Yeah,
episodes left. You know,
Yeah.
that would be
we're getting to the
wild. Though. Like I
wire.
said, that would be right, and I did not expect this show could have if that was a complete setup to get Will to confide in Doc.
Francis randomly being nice, all on the same day. It's a little suspicious.
And he was running with the ones. Remember that?
Oh, you're
Yep.
right.
Yeah, he was running with the ones. He started buttering them up then.
Do we think the Founders Day debacle puts Will at the top of the list to get the Founders Day? Do we think that's a shoe in, or do you think Carlton is going to make some sort of ability to kind of get
Come
back?
back. I feel like at this point it seems like Will's a fan favorite because it's Will. Like I
It's
feel
like and we
What do you
know
say?
Carlton, we know Will, we know Connor. And it's like they named like 3 other people. It's just kind of like, when are we going to hear about these other people? Like clearly they've done something to be nominated, right?
They ain't got no clout, bro. They ain't got no clout.
They ain't got that with Bel-Air
Are they
clout,
like
bro.
are they like the chess club representative and
Yeah, bro. That
the debate team sent they guy? Like what is going on?
The third secret athletic team on the in the school, probably like that football team we never hear about.
man.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it has to be more substance there. Like they need to
Yeah.
talk about these other nominees. We know Carlton and Connor seem to be pretty much out of the race now, but they're like I said, other people had to have enough merit about themselves, enough accolade, enough favor to get nominated to that position. I would just hate for them to just say those guys a name and then it's just like, okay, whatever. It's Will's to lose at this point.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like they just call like like John's tea and then like that's it? Like we don't know who the winner is. A random guy walks up and accepts the award.
Like,
But I would say I'm not counting Carlton out. I don't think
No,
Carlton's
I
out the
don't think he's
running.
out.
I think that video is gonna kind of. Well, honestly, I don't think that video was that well, like that good. But but in show wise, maybe it's the most inspirational thing they ever seen. So, maybe he's gonna win. But I do think the drugs. I feel like him getting back to drugs, that was his choice, and there's gonna be some consequences because of that. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's going on. I hope Will doesn't win. I think that would just be just
Too obvious.
yeah, too obvious. I really hope Will doesn't. If Will wins the award, I will be DMing the writers personally on Twitter and saying we need to do better.
oh, I'm joining you with that. I'm like shaking my head. Is this what black people would count? Like, I feel like Carlton is still in the running. Yeah, I don't think he's discounted just yet. The drugs thing is definitely going to be a bigger storyline. Maybe he'll like overdose or something. I feel like that might come. But
Yeah.
ultimately, and it's kind of wrong because I thought the same thing that was going to happen with this speech was what's supposed to happen with that speech at the bowling alley, where he's like, "Yo, I have anxiety issues." That was going to be a thing where people were like, "You know what? I told sympathy to Carlton," and that didn't happen. So, who knows?
What if like Carlton does win, eke out the win of the Founders Award, and they're like, okay, great, all right, we just have this drug test. If you can go pee in a cup, that'd be great. And then he's like, oh no, that's
He
the
just
last
tapped
piece.
everyone like, "You'll never catch me."
That's insane. I wouldn't. That would be a kind of wild thing to
You know
do.
what?
But I could
Carlton
see it.
probably gonna get something laced. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Not the fentanyl.
Maybe Connor's going to be like, well, Carlton's a drug user. Don't give him the Founders Award. I'm a supplier.
You know,
Self-sabotage
I
is
was gonna say,
crazy. You got to hate someone that much to send yourself to jail because you don't want this kid to win the award.
I know, right? Yeah, actually, yeah. You already almost
that
went
would
to
be
jail.
so wild.
Maybe he feels
That would
he's
be the ultimate
untouchable.
level of petty. I mean, yeah, he does consider himself untouchable. He's like, "Yo, I already got a free ride." So just to do that whole petty move, like, "Yeah, I'm a drug dealer, by the way." Carl to be on that like booger sugar, just so you know. FYI, don't let him in. Da da. Like, I can't see Connor being that wild.
You know it's
Yeah.
gonna be cliche. Cliche is gonna be when Hillary starts going out the football guy and they like reminiscing, like he's like, man, I knew I was gonna get you back, this, that, and the next. And then Hillary like starts thinking about Jazz and she's like, I can't do this. Like
You're giving away. You're spoiling the show.
I
I
want
100%
to be with the Uber driver on the red carpet. Hey, that's what I'm trying to be. That's who I want to be with. Like,
Where's
yeah, I
Ivy
think that.
at? Karishi hasn't been in the show in a minute. She
Oh
got to
yeah,
come back
Chris been
soon.
missing.
Nah, please let her stay wherever she's at. Let her stay wherever she's at.
Hey yo, what Carucci gets with Jazz? That would be really wild.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
Jazz
know
is a
what?
free agent. Why not?
You know what's interesting? I don't think we got into, but Phil and his firm. Do y'all think he's gonna leave the firm, or I'm thinking if he leaves his firm, he's gonna leave all his people high and dry, right? Is that kind of the implication of like what they're going with?
That's the general implication. Like basically, they're depending on him, and if he leaves, the firm is basically fucked. They're all depending on Phil right now.
Yeah. That's kind of wild. I mean, that's kind of wild if he just those people he kind of build with. So if he, takes this huge offer and then leaves them high and dry, that's kind of a crazy thing to do. But that's a good offer. I don't know.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't blame him for going with it. He's got to look out for himself and what he wants. So,
yeah.
But but the thing is, the firm suffered because he left for his DA campaign. So it is kind of on him that the firm wasn't, able to kind of
successful
in the past. So he kind of like left it high and dry, and then if he does it again, I don't know. What would an honorable Uncle Phil do?
I was gonna say money or integrity. Come on.
They texted him like, "Yo, what's up with the client? Any updates?" Man, looking at his phone like,
new phone. Who dis?
He's like, "Yo, you're too broke to talk to me right now."
Crazy.
So we think Jazz might hook up with Ivy, right?
No, I don't think that's gonna
Maybe
happen.
to get back at Hill.
That was a quick fling. I don't think Ivy would.
Okay.
No.
I feel like what Nolan was joking about that might happen is Hillary and Lil Mark is gonna have a little like flirt together. Lil Mark is like, yo, I got you bad girl. Then Hillary gonna be like, but Jazz though, those glasses. And then next thing you know, back like nothing happened.
Yeah. Okay.
But plot
Hill
twist, Jazz
will
gets with
probably.
Ivy.
What's that?
I say, but plot twist, Jazz gets with Ivy for drama for season 3.
I can't think of anything to predict with Hill because her storyline isn't interesting. Nor is it really there any conflict or any sort of like, oh, the social media house is going to continue doing what the social media house does.
But we don't even know what that is for real.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell what the last couple episodes of this season are going to focus around because the only thing they've really set up is Doc and Will and this sort of conflict there or something that's going to happen there. But
and the founder,
we don't even know what's going to happen with it. So
and the founder program. So
yeah,
all Will. That's fun.
Yeah. All right, cool. Any other things you want to mention before we close out this week's episode, guys? Any story beats that were mentioned?
Look out for Ashley, man. We don't know what she's been up to.
Yo, Ashley be plotting, bro. Don't sleep on the 12.
Ashley
is the writer of season 2.
What's that?
Yo, Ashley's the writer of season 2.
I can see that. That's why. Ashley was writing the whole story. Word for word, bar for bar.
She-Hulk energy, man. He's gonna go find the writers and let them know something's wrong.
Ashley was the one who was actually paying for Jeffrey's kid. All the stuff.
Ashley was the one keeping Jeffrey away from his kid.
There you go.
No, he hired. That's Ashley hired the gang to come after Jeffrey while he had to leave.
Oh, you know what? Something that we didn't talk about really was Will finding out that who actually leaked the video, and he was like, "You don't have no proof."
I hate that dude. That dude is so annoying.
Oh, I'm over him.
His hairline is terrible. Number one.
Yeah, he got the military cut too.
Yeah, he got but like, why does he have the buzz cut? He looks like he just cut it himself because he for a fraternity like.
I was gonna say his mom definitely did for $4 on the low, try to save some money and shit.
I'm like, what is Lisa Stevens? Like, no disrespect to the actor because it's the way they obviously made him look that way on the show. So they need the hair and makeup need to get on that because that is not a good haircut.
You're not doing our people right. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and yeah, now I'm kind of getting mad about it because what? Lisa's looking for you? What? Excuse me.
And for him to leak the video, he's like, you don't got no proof. I'm like, yo, what is the supervillain energy? Like, I don't know. I wish these people were written a little more grounded. The whole premise of the show was, grounded Bel-Air, but it's given cartoon characters. So
and then Lisa walking up at the same time right after that moment and like seeing Will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And she don't pick up on nothing. It's just like, hey, let's
no. The funniest thing, Lisa goes, hey, we're still on for dinner, right? She's like, yeah. And then I'm like, what is this?
Excuse me. Not to mention the fact that didn't you say you're not friends no more? Like she can't be friends with you. So, you know what would have been more convincing for him to say like, I'm doing this for us. Like try to make it all about like he's trying to help Will out instead of this whole super villain. I'm only doing this because I'm like the bad guy and shit. Come on now.
Yeah.
High schools, man. These high schools are ruthless.
For this week's folks.
Yep.
Big thanks to the team here, Bala, Jossie, Nolan. Thank you all guys so much for coming on. Talk about this episode. Hopefully, we've got better episodes coming up. The last 3 are hopefully better than this one. And we have a good
episodes.
What's that?
Let's hope for some positive dialogue in the next couple episodes.
I'm hoping that hopefully this is the low point and it's only up from here.
It's only up 3 episodes left. It's only up from here.
Jossie, I'm gonna say let's get our tweets ready.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, they still got again the 3 episodes, and they have to have some sort of like cliffhanger, right? There has to be something going on. Somebody's gonna leave the house. I don't know. Somebody's gonna get shot. Who knows? Something's gonna happen.
Oh gosh.
Keep us waiting until season 3, if there is a season 3.
Did Carlton get shot? I feel like someone got to get shot.
If it's Carlton, I'll be
Ashley's gonna get shot.
In the original show, Carlton was shot, right? Carlton definitely was shot.
I thought it was Will that was shot.
Trying to save Carlton.
Oh, was it Will? It was Will. Yeah. Will. Yeah. I think it was Will. I think Will jumped in front of the bullet. And then Carlton showed up with the gun. That was a wild episode. It's not happening again.
All right, guys. Ashley's a shooter. Like, she got a gun ready in the backpack and shit.
Well, I think Ashley took out that, who was it? The drug dealer, the big bad from last season. The glove. That was all Ashley.
You right, though. Ashley got Black Air Force energy all over her.
All right. Cool, guys. All right. Well, that's been our talk for this week. Tune in next week when we'll be talking about episode 8. Otherwise, have a great night, everybody.